I'm just arrived here in Malaga for another adventure in Andalusia, and I'm going to pick up the car and drive all around. So in this video I will tell you all you need to know to rent a car in Malaga and to drive around. Now, the first thing you should know in Malaga airport is that there are two pickup places. So there is one which is at the airport where you can pick up your car, and this is where usually you have a major car rentals, and usually you pay more money. Or you go to the train station, and that's where it's the pickup for the rentals which are outside of the airport. So it's a little bit of work to do that, but you're gonna save some money, which is good. By the way, you can see here in the back the areas where the rental companies that stay outside of the airport. We're gonna take you after you deliver the car back, which is right in front of the airport. So handy. There are plenty of rental companies here in Malaga. You can see probably in the background, left and right, so many companies. Now, which one do I suggest? I usually use an aggregator website that compares all of them and gives the best deal for the period that you want. And it works so well also because they can provide the full insurance for just €7 a day, which is a great lifesaver because it's so easy to scratch the car in these tiny roads of Spain. Now I'll give you a huge tip here because it's a little bit of a scam in my opinion. You can buy a full insurance from this aggregator which covers everything, but then you go to the rental and they tell you they have a better insurance which covers everything. Honestly, the full insurance of a rental company costs 3 to 4 times more, so it's not really a great deal, isn't it? The only difference between the two insurers, in fact, is that with a car rental company you're not going to pay anything even in case of damages. With the one provided by the aggregator, you have to pay for the damage, but then the aggregator website will give you the money back. It happened to me and I got money back in about 3 to 4 weeks, so it takes a little bit of time, but the important thing is that at the end of the day I got the money back. But how easy is actually to park in Malaga? Probably the two most challenging areas are actually the historical center and the area of So, and that's where street parking is very limited, if not non-existing, and you will have only the possibility to park in multi-level garage, which will cost around between 15 and 25 euros per day. My suggested area to stay with a car is El Ejido, which is 10-15 minutes walking distance from the historical center, just north of it, and you can find free street parking, which is absolutely great. Plus the area is actually a great value for money because it's the university area, which means accommodation and also restaurants are usually very well priced. But do you actually need to rent a car here in Malaga? Well, if you plan to visit just the historical center, the art area of So, and some of the many attractions of the city, like for example the Picasso Museum, then probably you don't need to rent a car because you can either walk or you can take public transportation or a taxi and an Uber, and that would be enough. But if you want to organize a day trip, for example to Caminito del Rey or to the beautiful town of Casares up in the hills, or maybe to the historical center of Estepona, or even you want to organize a full itinerary of Andalusia, then renting a car is a must, because public transportation is fine, but it takes time, and having a car will make your trip so much smoother. Plus, if you're traveling in a group of people or as a family, it's actually going to be cheaper for you. The driving side in Spain is on the right, like most of Europe except the UK. If you're used to the left side, like I am used because I've been living in Australia for 20 years now, and when I come to the right side, it's always difficult the first couple of days, but I take it very easily. I follow usually the flow and it's no problem at all, except one thing here in Spain: there are so many roundabouts, like the one that you see here on my back, which can be a little bit confusing at the beginning especially. So just follow the flow the first few days, take it easy, and you won't have any problem at all. There are all sorts of roads here in Spain, like really in any country. But there's only one exception that I want to highlight, which is the small and tiny roads of historical center. That's really where you don't want to venture with a car. And sometimes they're anyway closed and only for the residents. So don't venture inside, sometimes because it's prohibited, but also because it's gonna be very, very hard to drive around these tiny streets. Parking in Spain, well, there are three types of lines. There is a white, there is a yellow, and there is a blue line. Like you see here, there is a blue line, which means that you have to pay to leave your car here. Typically you pay between 1 and 1.5 euros per each hour. You see columns like this one where you can pay with a credit card, or there are a few apps also that you can use. Easy Park is my favorite because I can start the parking time and I can stop it whenever I'm back to the car, which means I can pay only for what I use. With white lanes you can leave a car for as long as you want, it's free parking. Yellow lines usually only places for the loading or for car with special needs. If you want to know more about driving in Spain, I've actually created a video just for this subject. I'm gonna put a link here on the top left, and that's where I talk about the speed limits, the parking, the type of roads, the highways and their cost, and so much more information. I just finished to check in with EasyJet for my flight out. Usual poor service from EasyJet. They wanted to charge me 1 kilo more for the bag. They just moved the bag and was back on track, no worries. Flight is also delayed 2 hours, but doesn't matter, we're on holiday. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, you find it very useful for your rental, and I see you in the next week video.